Nick?
Yeah, so the Times have the Starmer defense story, but we want to look at the Biden one, which is Biden dares critics to run against him for Democrat nomination. And it's quite funny because he refers to the elites, and you're thinking, if Joe Biden's not the elite, do you know what I mean? Like the deep state president of the United States and leader of the so-called free world, you're like, who are these elites then? But he means the elites within the party who are against him. And it is quite interesting. We have this schism finally, in the left in America. We have the New York Times trying to say Biden shouldn't run. Even Stephen King today saying Biden shouldn't run. But Biden wants to stay. And Lionel Shriver wrote a good piece on this saying, well, of course he does. If you're this old man, what do you want to do with the remainder of your years? Be the most important man in the world?
Yes.
Or just be some retired bloke on the beach?
But this is a calculation they've always had to make with dictators, isn't it? This is famously like part of the whole UN thing and so on. You have to give them an off-ramp. It's not a million miles away from Pinochet or whatever. You can't say the instant you stand down, we're going to swoop in and take you off to The Hague. You've got to say, listen, your life will carry on being great. Well, you're going to have loads of lunchtime meetings. You'll go around to hospitals.
3 months of it.
But normally old people go to Florida in America. Imagine with DeSantis there, it's a disaster. So what's he going to do?
Confronted with the least woke state.
Well, speaking of off-ramps, they're talking about how his team have to produce these huge documents with him for him, and which complete with large photographs showing the exits to stages.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There are two basic kinds of videos with Biden, aren't there? There's him just seizing up and can't remember what he was trying to say, and there's him going the wrong way off from a podium, just like wandering off.
Just put a leash on him or something.
Yeah. Well, little lights that kind of the ones they use on aeroplanes to show you where you get off.
But it is frustrating. It is ego. He's trying to say
or Jill's ego.
It could be Jill's ego. It could be she likes to keep him busy. Maybe she's
her
she's a bit younger
status
than him.
is raised, and that is significant, I think. And I don't even entirely kind of blame her. She's been around for a long time.
But they're public servants. They should think about what's the best for the country. Yeah. And the reality is, it's only going to get worse. He looks more frail. He looks more decrepit, frankly, and it's
becoming very divisive within the commentary, because every day there's a piece. Somebody will, like Stephen King today, said, "Mr. Biden, you need to step down. You've been a great servant." He's obviously totally on board with the Democrat, but then there'll be another Democrat going, "You're making all the focus about Biden being unfit. What about the criminal? What about the adjudicated?"
Two things can be wrong.
Of course, but it's it couldn't be better from the Republican point of view. They kind of want him to dangle on that hook for as long as possible.
Yeah, although I heard people claiming today, don't get complacent. Look what's happening in France. Trump still might not win.
But there's no coalition. What has happened in France? I understand that, and people did maybe get complacent. Not that I particularly want to see Le Pen, but. The reality is there was an organisation, there was a kind of coalition of very...
Yeah, they came together to keep out the right, yeah.
That isn't available, right? Trump and Biden. Who's he going to come together with? Kennedy?
No, I'm just worried that whoever the replacement is, they find a way. Well, I'm worried they'll find a way. Yeah. I'm not going to say they're going to rig it because of Ofcom. But by the way, Jill's Ego is an indie band I saw in the 90s, support Teenage Fan Club. No, I made that up.
Oh, did it? It was
a joke from 3 minutes ago.
It was a sort of John Peel-ish joke, played at the wrong speed.